I have a problem. My Razer Naga Trinity mouse, which is actually a pretty cool mouse, the mouse on the left here, is starting to get flaky and starting to die out. I've had it for a couple of years here, and I use it a lot. It's my primary gaming mouse. So what's happening is typical problem. Mouse switches are kind of going out, and you're starting to get kind of a double clicking when you're doing single clicks, or we're losing clicks on the right side. Now there's a process to take these apart and clean out the switches and possibly replace them. I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna have some fun, just kind of tooling around. But it's time to replace it. I have no problem doing it. Now, the reason why I use this mouse is for the buttons, the programmable buttons on the side, the 12 buttons. Now, each one of these can be basically tied to a macro or to a key input. So, in a role-playing game or MMO game, there's a lot of commands that can be for some of these games. Like I have a little character on the screen here. She's a tamer. Now, one of the commands she's got to do is to cast up an earth elemental. So I can actually hit a combo key, one key, and cast that up. Now I can tell it to follow me by hitting another combo key, or to guard me, or to attack, or kill something. I can do a cure spell, or heal spell, or offensive spells. There's all these things you'd have to do, and to do this in the game, like if I wanted to cast up one of these little earth elementals, officially what I'd do is I'd actually go open up my spell book. Let me get my spell book here. I think he's an 8th level spell, Earth Elemental, and cast it up. Now, that's actually my mouse double-clicked that by accident. That's my mouse actually dying here. There's actually an Earth Elemental spell. I could double-click it, or I could take this and draw it out there. But that's how I do that. But that's cumbersome to do inside the game, so you want to tie that to a macro. So in my world, it's Control 7. I'm sorry, Control 10, or the 0 key would be on the keyboard. So I've tied that to a macro, which means I can tie it to a button like this one right here, the 10 key. So I hold down the Control key and I press this button down here, or it would be over here. That casts up that elemental. It saves a lot of mouse clicking. So these are important. So that's the reason why I use it. Now, this, when I bought it, was somewhere probably about $180. There's interchangeable plates and whatnot. I only use this one. Right now, if I want basically get a like-for-like replacement for this, it's about 130 bucks here. If I looked on, I think over here on Amazon right now, I can see, or it's actually 110. The Razer Naga is the wired mouse. It's just got the plate for the macro buttons on here. It's a little bit simpler than what I'm showing in this picture, but it's pretty much like for like. That's 110 bucks. But if I look at this other one from Redragon, it's awfully close. It looks similar. And the big kicker on that one is that the Redragon was on sale for like 29 bucks. 29 versus 110. I really like my Razer mouse. I'm a big Razer fan, so I wasn't like going to look for it. But at 29 bucks, why not? And there's some other benefits this one has. One of the things it has actually is this weight distribution. So this actually can go underneath the mouse. You know, get a picture here of it. Where's one? Does it have one here? It doesn't even show one. Actually, it'll show it on the other page. Underneath, basically that goes underneath the mouse here. Actually, I think I actually have a picture of it. Let's go to 136. There it is. So this little panel underneath the mouse here can come out, and there's different weights on there. And you can make the mouse basically heavier or lighten it up. I have bigger hands, so a heavier mouse actually works better for me. For lighter hands, you may want to lighten that up. So you actually can do that on the actual Redragon. You can't do that on the Trinity. So that was pretty cool. I was like, all right, that's a plus side on it. Otherwise, it's got all the programmable buttons. So I'm like, all right, let's give it a try. 30 bucks versus 110. Why not? See what it is. How bad could it be? So as I said, I went through and I picked up the mouse. It just came this morning, and I'll tell you what, if push come to shove, I'd use the mouse. It's actually a pretty decent mouse. It does the job. The buttons work. Everything else. There are differences from the Razer one. I'll tell you kind of the highlights. First thing, the wheel. The wheel on the Trinity mouse is a better wheel. It's more precise. It's kind of tactile. You can feel the clicks on it. It just definitely is. And you also can rock it left to right. And I can do that to zoom in and zoom out like this. On this one, you can't do that. There is no rocking left to right, and the mouse itself is just a little bit more freeform. It's not bad. It's just a little bit different on it, but I'd definitely give the win over to the Razer. The braided cord, solid braided cord, standard Razer product. This one actually feels just like a little bit more puffier. Like it's not as tightly knit. It's a little bit easier to bend, which is good, but I also think that that doesn't make it as strong or as durable. So I'm not sure, jury, kind of the verdict's not in for that one. So we will see. But it's there. It's kind of another difference. One of the other things, the lighting buttons, it is lit up, and in the picture on their on the website here, it looks like it's lit up here. That is not true. These are not lit up. This is just kind of getting a kind of an after effect, kind of a glow from these lights that are inside of here or over here. They are not lit like this one. So if there's something you do want to look at, my desk lighting shows my keys, so I'm okay without it being lit. But if that's something important to you, please realize that these are not lit while the actual Razer ones are. So just side note on that. I'm going to go to the last thing on here. This little wing here, this shape that's down here, it's meant to kind of give it a kind of a little more, I guess, a wider stance on here. And if you look at in here, you can see that it gives it that kind of base, that kind of, it just gives it a wider kind of stance. And that actually is really good. I understand that. But there are two issues with it. First thing, it's so close to these buttons that my thumb actually hits up against it. It's actually, I don't mean resting, I mean kind of pressing against it. So when I go to press this number 1 key, it's pressing against this. It's too close to the buttons. So this is just, it's a comfort thing. It's just not right. Honestly, I'm looking at this one. I get it on the other side. Honestly, if they would just cut this piece off, it would actually be a great mouse. This is the one ergonomic, uncomfortable thing that I think is just the easiest thing to replace or to fix on it. It's just to shave this off. Follow what Razer did. It's a better profile for your thumb because when you get down these lower keys, your thumb has to kind of wrap underneath. This prevents it. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just a comfort thing. The second thing is, hard to see it here, are the buttons themselves. The Razer ones are not like when you go from this one 3, 6, 9, 12, these are closer together than the ones up here. These, to go from here to here is further than from here to here. It makes hitting this 12 key where your thumb has to slide all the way down to here much more difficult. It makes these very uncomfortable. These keys are uncomfortable with this mouse. These keys are kind of uncomfortable. It's just stretching. I mean, your thumb's just having to reach back. But these are just pronounce it for no reason. I don't know why these buttons are bigger. There's just no reason to do that. They just made them too big. The other thing is that I'm not kind of sold in it. It kind of goes down in a V shape. It goes down and then up. And it goes down and then it goes up. The Razers kind of go down, they kind of meander here, then they come up. It's kind of a bowl shape, and I'm kind of used to that. This isn't a deal breaker. I'll get used to that. But the reason that these are much bigger, it's just your mouth, you don't want your fingers to have to travel a lot. You want them to go as far as they need to have a distinct button change. And it's just the distance to go from this key, from the 3 to the 6, or from the 1 to the 4, is just, there's more travel than to go from here to here, and overall from here to here. Just what I've seen on it. It's a comfort thing, but it's a $30 mouse. So if you, and I think I have a larger hand, not huge, but larger. If you are smaller in stature, then this may not be an issue for you. Overall, I mean, we'll see after a month or two using it. I'm going to give it a try. I said, I'm up for a $30 deal. And who knows, maybe I'll just grow into it and just be one of the things that, 90% close to what this one was for, 25% of the price is much better. Maybe that's how it turns out. So it's not a deal breaker. I think it's worth trying. If you're looking to save some money on a build and you want to get a mouse like this, then that's some money to shave off. I would definitely use it as a corner I would cut just all day long. You know what? Later on, if you use it and you want to go to something different, like a Razer or whatever other product, then do that. But I think it's a good one. It's a good one to kind of start out with. So I'm not like completely disappointed with my purchase. I'm not like over the moon, but I'm like, you know, for 30 bucks, I'm happy. So I just thought I'd kind of give that out here. I have to give a note. I am not paid or sponsored by anybody. This is just me, my stuff, what I do, what I use. I've been using the Trinity and the Razer products since probably 2017. I've liked them. I like the feel of the keyboards. I like that they had some Mac versions of the keyboards. Not. I definitely love the Trinity, the mouse, the Naga mouse, the side button, MMO buttons, the profile button mice that they have. I love them. I just love them, and we beat on them and use them all day long. Especially in a game where you're casting and running around and doing all this stuff. You are hammering on these buttons all day long. So, you know, I said, I really like these. I paid for all mine. I buy all of them. This is my stuff. So no sponsorship from them. I'm telling you just how I feel it. And I said, I love this mouse. And if they were to give me one right now and said, here, free, I'd put it right on the desk and continue using it. But out of my own pocket. So I just saw this cruising through the Amazon ads. I'm like, you know, it's just, you got to see. Maybe it is. You know, it's got some extra buttons. It's got some extra buttons that are here. What it can do. They said there are some features for it. They said the waiting feature that are pretty cool. But you know, in the end, it's you know, it's got to come down to a bit of pure functionality of these buttons and the ergonomics. And if I don't get comfortable, if it's not something I feel comfortable using, then it'll be a $30 backup mouse. I'll put it on the shelf as a backup one if one starts going, and then I'll replace it with another one. And 99% sure it'd be once again another Razer product out there, or Trinity mouse, or Naga mouse, however you want to call it. So that was it. I just wanted to kind of touch on that. Some people, you know, I don't like the normal reviews on Amazon. You know, people the paid things. You know, they're kind of cheerleaders for it. I like normal people using it reviews. I said that's, you know, when I bought the two, I know I'm comparing. I'm like, you know, this is the kind of stuff I wish I could see someone else would present out there. So that's why I made the video. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, whatever else, just throw them down here. If you're liking the channel and the stuff, just give it a thumbs up, a subscribe in there. That's free to you. Just lets me know the content's being appreciated, and we'll go from there. So once again, this is Elaina Strongbow. Hope everything's good. You have yourself a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.